So next we want to talk about sharing folders using Google Drive. So on this side we have the owner, a couple folders that we want to share, and then over here we have the collaborator. So I have a folder here called Testing Sharing folder with Viewing. And if I go in here, I can see that there is already a file over here, and we want to show when we share this folder what happens with this file. So we can just click on the checkbox and hit the share. I'm going to share this with my collaborator. We're going to set the access level to Can View. So notice now we only get two choices, Can View and Can Edit. Can Comment is gone. So let's set this to Can View. And we'll see over here in the Collaborators drive, under Shared with Me, this folder now shows up. So now we can view everything that is in this folder. So we click on it, and here is that file. So when we open this file, all we can do is anything with viewing rights. So we can view it, we can make a copy or download it, but again, we have no access to share this with anybody, and we can't edit this at all. All we can do is view. If I'm over here, the owner can type whatever, and the viewer can view it, but really can't do anything about it. Now it's also true that the viewer cannot delete this file, and they can't even move it into any other folder by organizing. So you can see if you click on the Move to Folder icon and hit Organize, you can only see what folder this currently exists in, but you can't move it anywhere else. So this is definitely the most secure way to share a bunch of files using a folder. Now what's good about this is once this folder has been shared, it is really the access to everything that's in here. And all the files that are placed in this folder are going to get the same access rights and shared with the same people as the folder. So if I move this test file into the testing shared folder for viewing, you'll see that over here the collaborator now gets to view that file as well. So any file I place in this folder is going to show up in the collaborator's view as well. Notice we can't really move it anywhere else. We don't have permission. And if we try to remove this, we can see the item was not removed because we do not have permission to remove it. So you can see that sharing a folder using viewing is very safe, very secure, but it can be very powerful if you have a lot of files that you want to share with lots of other people. Next, let's take a look at testing sharing a folder, but with editing rights. So to share the folder, just click on the checkbox, hit Share, choose who you want to share this with, and let's leave the access level to Can Edit. Now, when you share a folder with editing rights, all the files inside of this folder will also have editing rights for your collaborators. So, if we were to open up this file, the collaborator would have editing rights, so they could edit this file, they could add comments, and they could even share this file with others. Now there are some things to be aware of when you share files through a folder. So when you share a folder with editing rights, there's some risks involved in this. So you've organized this file into this specific folder. Now if the collaborator moves this file out of the folder, it will actually move it out of the owner's folder as well. So if I move this into the sharing folder, notice we get a warning. Other users will no longer see this item in the shared folder. Okay, so if we move it, notice it disappeared from the owner's folder. Now, it does not mean that it deleted it, but the original owner would have to go and search for it again. Okay? And it would just end up back in your drive. And you can see the file is right here. It is no longer in the folder that it had been before. So we would have to reorganize this by dragging it back into the folder. Okay, so we've moved it back into the folder. There it is. And we can see it appears again right here. Now, this is also a two-way street once you get to the editing level. So the collaborator would be able to create a file in that shared folder, and it would show up in the owner's folder as well. Now, in this case, if the collaborator removes the file, it will also be removed for the owner of the file. So this situation already exists on our campus in Learning Teams. So the Learning Teams folders are shared with editing rights because everybody needs to be able to edit the 7-step documents. And if you're also in GATA, you've also been shared with a folder with some GATA stuff that you're going to be wanting to edit. So it's very important not to move files out of folders that have been shared with you with editing rights. If you do want to organize this into another folder, what you have to do is check the box, hit the folder Move To, and then hold down the Command button, and then click, and then move. So what you've done there is you've tagged the file in multiple folders without moving it from the original folder. So just be aware to not move or delete files out of a shared folder with editing rights. Otherwise, it will mess up the shared settings for everybody else who has access to that folder. Alright, so that is how to share files through folders with Google Drive.